Hello and welcome to the new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at an anti-meta team for the current Spring Cup. And as a lot of people are a little bit fed up about the current meta, which is basically the standard case for any limited meta after a while, we're going to have a team here that is supposed to kind of counter the current meta. And it is not running that many meta Pokemon. I guess you can consider maybe Golisopod as like a bit of a meta Pokemon. I would say that's the only real meta Pokemon out of those here that we have. EMPOLEON, I think I've seen 2 so far, which were all in the first set that I actually played for this meta, and afterwards never ever seen it again. And Araquanid, I've not encountered a single one yet. And this is literally designed to counter the current meta. It is not designed for the top meta, generally speaking, but against what currently is running. And for example, Araquanid, what use does it have? You see it literally here. Just because Cacturne has such a hype currently, we can completely just farm this Pokemon down with this team. And there are so many Cacturne in the back currently that it's a lot of fun to play Araquanid, let me tell you. Just farming down this super meta Pokemon in no time is ridiculously fun. So, there's one big issue. This team, by the way, was also in the top team video that I did as well for the Spring Cup. If you haven't seen this, still of course on the channel. If you want to have some team ideas, this was on there as well, and it also showed that the main core breaker for this team was Lanturn. And yeah, guess what we encountered there just now? A Lanturn. But while Lanturn is a core breaker, a lot of times we actually had potentially some options there to deal with this Pokemon. A lot of times I stayed in, for example, against the Golisopod, which was really cool, which you're gonna see in this spell, like in those spells as well. I actually encountered, I've never encountered really Lanturn at all, I think, beforehand, but I encountered, I think, like 3 times with this team Lanturn, which was like, great, thanks for that, but yeah, this happened definitely a bit more commonly with this team, so we had to kind of play around it, and we did actually find some ways to play around it. Here, for example, we were able to get a ton of energies in order to get some Hydro Cannon damage against them here, and hopefully we can farm them down with the Araquanid, but it depends on what they have in the back. They have the trophies, so we have to forfeit anyway here. I just got completely hardwalled from literally the beginning till the end. But look at this, we're going to have another Lanturn here. Literally, I have not seen Lanturn at all yet against me, I think. I don't think I saw a single one of them, or maybe like 1 or something. And all of a sudden we have like a ton of them here, which is a bit annoying because I was like, this team was designed to be kinda not facing the Lanturn, and all of a sudden this thing is here. But it's still gonna be fine here because we're still going to have access to Exeter on the Golisopod. We're doing a lot of damage against here the opponent's Dugong, and honestly, we were able to kind of deal with Lanturn in most of the cases, even though of course it is the worst Pokemon to face for this team, absolutely. I know that I survived this move, by the way, because everything is resisted. I do think that it's still kind of a possible Pokemon to beat, so like it's not that I'm too worried about it all the time. Here is the question, do we go into the Araquanid or do we go into our EMPOLEON? Araquanid is the Pokemon that we need against Lanturn mainly, but also we don't really want to use our shields on the EMPOLEON. And here they reveal that they're going to have the Superior in the back. We're going to be able to go back into our EMPOLEON to go for some Hydro Cannon damage now, and one more Hydro Cannon. Oh, actually, we don't even need to go for another Hydro Cannon because let the move go through. I can shield this move up, never mind, and just farm them down. Go then for the Drill Peck, force the shield from the opponent's Superior with that, and all of a sudden, like a matchup that on paper was really, really bad for us, we were able to kind of completely flip, which is really cool because like they had Lanturn, they had a Superior against our Triple Water team. Like we are running a Triple Water team that's funnily enough not weak to Grass type Pokemon because everything has a secondary typing that resists Grass. But yeah, you're gonna be able to win this battle. By the way, it's quite important for the Araquanid to run Bug Buzz in the current meta, especially for this kind of team. The Water Pulse is cool against 1 or 2 Pokemon, which is going to be mainly Mawile, which actually is really nice to have because Bug type is double resisted, Water type is neutral, and the Bubble Beam doesn't do damage, so it's a bit annoying there. But yeah, usually you really want to have Bug Buzz against most of the Pokemon because of all the Grass Pokemon in the meta here right now. We still have a Drill Peck coming through. And as we will see, we're going to be able to use another shield here. I hope that I can outspeed him for 2 Drill Packs here. That would be ideal. I can go for the first Drill Pack. And even if I get the knockout here, that would be great because our backline really doesn't want to face this thing. And we're going to get the KO. Oh wait, they didn't have a shield left anymore. Anyway, we have the Gastling coming in. Weezing is going to come in next to us. And we know already at this point that we're going to be able to win this one. Because Weezing, in order to knock us out, needs to go for an Overheat here. If it's a sludge, we survive. If it's a sludge, we also outspeed them to the next one. It's a sludge, and so we're gonna have now a Recronet against the opponent's Gastrodon. I have the KO here. There's nothing they can do anymore, and yeah, as we will see here as well, they're gonna go for the Body Slam, and this is gonna knock us out, and we're going to have our own Recronet again. And funny enough, they actually want to play this one out here, which is, yeah, kind of more of a waste of time, because there's no way that they can win this. Like, there's absolutely no way. Look at the damage output that they have. Look at the damage output that we have. It is absolutely impossible for them to win this. There is no real charge move that does damage. We actually even get the defense drop, which I think is a 30% chance here. And as you will see, Body Slam coming through, and we can move on to the next opponent. Tropius. We're going to have your Tropius against the Empoleon again. And again, we kind of want to stay in here. We kind of want to go for perfect fast move timing as well, which the opponent didn't do here. Because if you go for perfect fast move timing, you should be able to kind of outspeed them. As you will see here, we're going to see the Marshtomp coming in. And this game was actually quite annoying, because you're going to see something funny happening here. Because I accidentally click on something here soon. I think that was this battle. Where here I would have been fine if I just went for the Bubble Beam. Everything would be okay, I think, afterwards. But I think I accidentally clicked on something on my phone. Yeah, the priority mode. Like, WhatsApp opens, like, completely random. I have no idea what this was. And yeah, this kind of cost me a few fast moves, and the few fast moves cost me the realignment here, which was really annoying. But I do think I would have been able to knock them out here in time if I didn't have the game booster setup coming up there, which is just part of my phone. Like, I don't know really on what it does either. I don't use that setting. But apparently you can open a WhatsApp in a small format with that. That's great to know. But really annoying now, because we were not able to get the realignment, which would have been really great for us. And so yeah, we have to hope that there's something in the back that we can still deal with. But this might be the reason. Yeah, that's going to be the Jellicent in the back. If I had realignment, I think I would have been in a very solid spot here. But I was not able to do that. And with that, we're going to be in a very bad spot, as they're going to be able to get the KO here now. And our Golisopod doesn't really have anything to do anymore as well. Yeah, it is what it is. Maybe I would have still not won, but that definitely sealed the deal there. Tentacruel. Tentacruel is a very common lead currently, especially with Amoonguss or Decidueye Swap, which I also made a video about twice. And we can counter all of them, kinda. As we're gonna get the shield here, we're gonna swap out into the Golisopod, which has charge moves that are going to be resisted by the Tentacruel. But also, at this point, we're gonna be able to just go for the Exeter, try to get the KO against the opponent here. That is going to be fine. It's gonna get the shield from them, and we will see here that we're gonna have to use another shield, but we can realign ourselves. And I expect that they're going to have the Cacturne in the back, and they swap out here actually. Tentacruel comes back in. That allows me to go for an Aqua Jet, do a little bit of damage, and swap out now into our own Penguin again. The Empoleon is really good as an anti-meta Pokemon currently, especially with the typing it has. It can resist basically everything in the meta. They sadly get the attack drop here. I always feel like I'm kind of unlucky recently with drops, like for both on my side that I don't get the drops, and for the opponent that they do get the drops. I don't know, like I feel like in recent videos I was quite unlucky with that. Here of course I would have been able to knock them out in time. They can still go for a Sludge Wave now. They actually don't have the Pokemon in the back that I expected. It's gonna be Liveni, but I'm still not really too worried about it. Because I know that they went straight for the move here. They actually went for the X's as well, which doesn't make sense. They should have went for Leaf Blade. But we can just go for the Exeter here, KO them, and still outspeed the opponent's Amoonguss here. So yeah, that's going to be fine. They're gonna swap out into the Amoonguss. I can go for the KO. This should knock them out here for sure. Like, it is a stab Exeter, it's neutral. Yeah, and we can now knock out the Tentacruel as well with our Recronet, and we win the battle. Tentacruel. Tentacruel again against in the lead, and again kind of the same stuff as before. Like, this team is just so common currently that Empoleon is a great way of answering this current problem, especially with the Arachnid in the back, as most people have the Cacturne in the back here as well. And again, we played out like before. We go for one Drill Peck, we're gonna swap out then into the Golisopod. We use a shield here, we have a Sludge Bomb coming through, which we of course don't want to have against us. And we can go for the Exeter to try to get the KO. After this one here, it's going to be a bit different compared to the last one. I'm still deciding to use a shield here, because I expect the Cacturne. We don't really need shields for the Cacturne, we just need alignment for the Cacturne. And so I can still do some damage against the Tentacruel. The energy is going to go to waste against our lead that we had, against the Empoleon. So I'm not too worried about this. I can just go for more Aqua Jets here, and I should be even able to reach another one in time afterwards, which is going to be great as they swap out into the Cacturne. I should have swapped out faster, but I don't know, like I think I had a little bit of lag on my side at that point as well. But we can take a hit here. There is nothing that we couldn't take. Trailblaze is fine, it doesn't do enough damage, we can go for the full farm down, and now we can even go for the debuffing move here as well with Bubble Beam. It makes it easier for us to survive hits, which forces the opponent to go for a charge move against the spell because it just don't do enough damage anymore. And this can also allow us to swap out into our Empoleon. But can we actually still win the battle? It's going to be a bit close here because I still have so much energy. So I'm a bit worried. It is going to be a Scald coming through here. They do get the attack drop again. And there's a thing as well, like I don't know why, but I feel like I was kind of unlucky with this kind of stuff recently, at least in those videos. But can we still win? We would have won already at this point without the 30% chance, but I still think we're going to be fine because we can go for the Bug Bite down now and we win the battle. So, Cacturne against the lead is of course really bad, so we have 2 good answers in the back. We swap out of here, and you don't really have to go for a charge move straight away. We can take even a hit here as well. I don't really mind that too much. If we go for one charge move against the Cacturne, we're going to be of course fine on the point that we are going to be able to get them into a position where the Hydro Cannon is going to be enough from the Empoleon. But as you will see here, Exeter is coming through. This is going to allow us to get some more damage onto them. And we can even reach another one, which forces, I think, both shields from the opponent if they want to realign. Here's the thing, what do I do now? They have the Cacturne, which of course would be really good against our Empoleon, and now they're going to get alignment again. But also Seeking has access to Drill Run, so I kind of wanted to get all the energy off first and then swap on into the Empoleon, well knowing that they're going to go into the Cacturne anyway, but I can still at least go for the Hydro Cannon. I was hoping I can still even outspeed them afterwards and try to go for another charge move, or like get the KO afterwards anyway here. But I sadly can't. I barely miss out on getting to another charge move. And to be fair, most I should have used the shield here. It's going to be the Earth Power, because they only get to one move anyway, and the Earth Power does the most amount of damage. But I was hoping there was not the Pokemon in the back that we're actually going to encounter here, which is going to be the Shadow, not the normal Mawile here actually as well. With Fire Fang, there's nothing I can do here. That's the one issue for this team. Mawile can be a bit of a trickier Pokemon. Yeah, but it's also not the worst. Like, it's literally not the worst Pokemon to deal with. Like, it would be definitely wrong to say that this Pokemon is a Pokemon that's impossible to beat or anything like this. It's impossible to beat as an Araquanid, but we have still Golisopod, which is neutral. We have still the Empoleon, which is neutral. It's not as big of an issue. Just in the position that we were in, it was a bit of an issue. We see a Cacturne against us. We have the Lantern coming back in here as well, but Lantern, again, is going to be a Pokemon that we're going to be able to do some very solid damage against. We have a lot of damage coming through here from those Exodus. We can go for a shield as well. And even if they're going to go for the Surf Bait, I'm totally okay with that, because I just need to get rid of this Lantern. And so, another Exodus is going to come through here. This is going to allow us to get the shield from the opponent, and we get the Lantern lower and lower, and this is literally what we want to see. As we can go for another shield, Surf is going to get, shield up here, we can go for another Exeter, and this is going to allow us to do a ton of damage. We try our best to go for another charge move here against the Gastrodon, as we're going to be able to align ourselves, and you know already, alignment is going to be key, because we have in the back our Araquanid, which can fully kind of counter this Pokemon, and they have in the back the Ninetales, which we can counter with Empoleon. And so, coming from a really bad lead matchup to completely hard-walling the opponent in the back just because we played out the matchup with a Lantern like this is kind of nice, and we can move on to the final battle of today. We're going to have here Golisopod. This Pokemon is going to be a bit of an interesting one, because what you can do is you're going to be able to win the Zero Shield scenario. They know that. They decide to use a shield. And we're going to be able to let the move go through here as well, which is going to be the Aqua Jet. But we can swap out into our own Golisopod. They have a 1-turn advantage here. Like, we're not going to be able to outspeed them. They went for 6 fast moves instead of 5 fast moves. And so they swap out into the Lapras. That's actually a very solid matchup for us, because we have Exeter here the entire time. We have neutral damage. They have usually resisted charge move damage, but also they could have access to Skull Bash, which then would be a little bit annoying. So let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to decide to shield. I thought it would be maybe the Skull Bash. It's going to be the Sparkling Aria, and they are going to be able to go for another move here before I can go for the full farm down, but it's definitely just the Sparkling Aria. And so we can get the farm down done, but they swap out into their own Golisopod again, and I hope I can outspeed them afterwards. Can I still get to another one? Never mind, they let the move go through, allowing me to go for the full farm down with the Araquanid. And now it depends on what they have in the back. We have still 3 Pokemon. They have the Weezing, and that is going to be tough, because Weezing is going to be one of the hard answers to Araquanid. Kind of similar here, Fairy types are just very difficult to deal with, especially if it's Fairy and another type that's Resist Bug. It's the same thing basically with Weezing's typing compared to Mawile's typing. both typings kind of resist the bug typing, which means we don't really have a lot of damage coming in. But even our fast move is kind of, yeah, adding up. They swap out to clear the debuff, but they're going to get debuffed straight away afterwards, which is going to be very important actually, because they go for the sludge spam. They know that they're going to knock me out with another sludge. But now I can survive their hits with my other Pokemon, and that is going to be very nice because they go for a charging move against the Empoleon. We get a little bit of damage onto them. Brutal Swing is not going to be enough to knock us out, but they're gonna get a bit of extra fast move damage in there. But we have some energy on the Golet support. We're gonna use that. We're gonna still get on the CMPita here to an Aqua Jet to knock them out. And this is going to be it for this anti-meta team. This team worked out super well for me. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.